In Malawi, transportation was pretty simple. I mean, most of it was on foot. You're walking pretty much everywhere you go. You could find, like, when people were traveling somewhere, like if they were going to town or something, they take what they call a combi, which is just like a blue bus, like a blue minivan, I guess. Or, yeah, that they just put a bunch of seats in, and you're sitting like this close to 5 other people cramming in on the seat and stuff. And a few people have cars. There's not very many, but there's a handful of cars, especially closer to the city. We'd find that near the city there was a lot of like gated communities. Well, everybody has a gate, I guess, as far as like anybody who has a house, even the missionaries. We all have like walls and gates around just to keep like thieves and stuff out. Yeah, we found though that each of those houses is just like a house just surrounded by a wall with its yard and stuff there, and just kind of like a fenced-in house here. But most of the people live in mud housing in Malawi. They have like they make these mud bricks that they build their houses out of, and they live mostly in their families. They usually have big families, and I mean one guy had like 17 kids we met, you know, and he I guess they all just lived in the same house for the most part until they got older, and sometimes they'll live there for many till they're quite old and get married and move out. And many times, even when they're married, they'll still live with their family and just build another house close by or whatever there. I guess as far as like shopping and stuff goes for the missionaries and for them, like each little village has like their street market, you know, where there's tons of people out selling whatever it is they grow. Most people do have a garden. A lot of corn and stuff is out there for sure, and they'll just sell anything extra that they have to make extra money and trade with things there. And as far as jobs go that they had out there, pretty much everybody farmed in some manner or another, usually growing the maize stuff. Pastors and religious leaders are probably the most popular job out there. You'll find a street on every, like 2 or 3 churches on every street, you know, and stuff out there. And they live pretty well compared to many of the people there, as all the people that are out there are very faithful and they try to do what's right, you know, and so they all go to church for the most part. A lot of them don't work, at least don't have a steady job. They do what they call piecework. Wherever they can find work, they'll take it and do a piece of work here and a piece of work there, you know, and just live on whatever little income they have or can find there. We knew a few people who were policemen. There's a lot of police there, which it's great to know police if you're out there, because a lot of them are very corrupt. And so if you can find some, especially if they're members of the church or things like that, they're good to know, you know. Keep you out of a lot of problems with cops that you shouldn't ever be in the first place, you know, that wouldn't be an issue had it not been for the corruptness and stuff that was there. I had a couple of people that were construction workers and things out there and just doing construction on the buildings that were there. But for the most part, it's a very agricultural based living there. They live on very little, I guess. Oh, and the other major popular job was like a guard. A lot of the people have guards that come and just kind of watch their place, and they're not armed or anything, but they're someone that's there to watch while they're gone or out and around. And I think they live on about $30 a month is what they make out there for the most part, and that's probably the most popular thing. You'll see them all the time, and they'll be doing gardening and different things like that too, and stuff for them while they're there. We had guards too, and they were always great to teach and great people to be around and get to know really well. And and the more they trust you, the less likely you are to have them steal too, you know, which is good, you know. But yeah, I guess that's kind of they work at least 6 days out of the week there. You know, they're always working and busy. They work long hours without getting much for it. So I guess if they're busy workers, it's really hard to catch them. Otherwise, those without jobs are relatively easy to go whenever you feel like it and catch them somewhere, you know, if you know where they usually are. And yeah, they just kind of live on whatever they can grow and keep there for the most part and trade for, and that's basic day-to-day life, I guess, there.